Hey, what's going on? Is this Mr. Keith Robinson?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to figure out this technology y'all got me on, man.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, there we go. So we can see you right now. We're going to see you, but you won't be able to see us.
Oh, that makes me feel that's kind of creepy, man. What's that about?
Look, listen, I didn't be able to.
I'm trying to ask you some stuff, see how I respond.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, not only that, it's courageous because, hey, man, people want to see you. People want to look up there and say, hey, this is the guy. This is Effie's brother. This is the Power Ranger. People want to see who you are.
That's what's up. How y'all doing, man?
Hey, we're doing good. How are you?
We're doing all right, sir.
And pretty good.
Yeah, man, you don't have nothing in your teeth, nothing's in your nose. You good.
If I did, y'all would see it, right?
Yeah. You good.
How come I can't see y'all, though? What's up with that? Y'all, it's got to be a two-way thing here. I can't see y'all? What is that?
I have no idea.
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It should be. So
I think between the three of y'all, one of y'all need to find the camera button.
we found well, there's a camera button. This is something with Google Hangouts. I have no idea what it is.
I got you.
So real quick, before we go any further, thank you for, I know you were busy.
All good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, everybody, we were going back and forth. We were trying real hard to get you. Now we finally got you. For people that's under a rock, please tell people who you are.
I'm Keith Robinson, man. I'm an actor, singer, songwriter. Been doing it for about almost 20 years now. So you bound to have seen or heard me in something over the years if you're into entertainment.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you've seen Dreamgirls, if you've seen All Eyes on Me, if you've seen This Christmas, I was kind of jealous because you got to kiss Laura London. I was like, damn.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, that's one of the few times I wished I was somebody else.
Oh my God.
So we see that, first off, we want to talk about the movies that I see you got, two movies? One is completed, the products of the American Ghetto, where you play a character called Silk. And
that's actually an old, actually I did that movie like 2 years ago. I guess it's just now circulating around, but it's a cool little indie flick I did in Atlanta based on a true story.
In Gangland, you play a character called Maurice.
Yeah, just did that one over the summer.
So
not over the summer, a few months ago.
And what is that about?
It's actually another musical. It's like it's a Netflix film. It's like, I would say it's like West Side Story meets Menace to Society.
Dig that. That's interesting. Yeah, that's the interesting combination. So if you had a choice, would you prefer musicals and drama over, per se, action?
Nah, I mean, I just like good work. Whatever genre, I'm down with. Mostly every genre. I mean, I don't do many. I've only done one horror film, but I don't even know if it was that scary, to be honest with you.
Right on.
But every genre, if it's good work, if it's good writing, then I'm completely on board with it.
What horror film did you do?
I did an old film called Mimic Centennial. You remember Mimic?
I do.
They did a Mimic 3.
They did.
Oh,
you were in that?
Actually, early in my career, I think I got eaten up by some mutant life-size roach.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've seen all the Mimic movies.
Desmond, back in 2003.
Yeah. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see.
But they killed the brother off
I
real
always
soon.
shocked when people tell me they seen that.
So how did you get started in this? I mean, did you go to acting school? Were you in theater arts in high school? How did all this happen?
Well, I started in music. I got a deal out of college and with a group. We got out of the deal and we ended up moving to LA to try to re-sign. And when I came out here, I went to an acting class just on a whim with a friend to see what it was all about. And I actually ended up participating in the class. He thought I was good and urged me to go read for this role. And I went and did that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all right there. So, because we talk to a lot of actors and actresses here, and everybody has a line of something that they won't do. Somebody comes to you with a script and says, hey, Mr. Robinson, we want you to do this, and automatically right off the top you say no. What is that?
I don't know, anything that compromises my manhood, I guess, is if I feel like it's doing that, then I probably wouldn't do it. But Other than that, I'm an artist, so I like to express myself through many different people, other people's, POV. So it's not much I would say no to. But if it's morally or spiritually like too much for me, then I'll tell them I'm good. I'll pass. But
Right.
I've been lucky. I haven't come across too many roles where I've had to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So far, so good.
Mm-hmm.
So for young actresses and actors out there, what would you, what is some advice you would give them as far as the business, as far as getting started? Because I act as well, but
Okay.
it's nothing as big as you do. But on the same token, 90% of this business is rejection. So how do you tell somebody? What would you tell somebody to keep their spirits up after they go and blow an audition or can't get a gig or whatever the situation is?
I would tell them, it's part of the process. We all go through it at every level. Try to use a lot of those no's as fuel, as opposed to letting them. I tell people to put the rejection in your gas tank instead of your trunk. Use it as fuel.
Dig it.
Study your craft and just get used to. Just be excited about telling the story. Let everything else happen the way it's going to happen. Because what's for you is what's for you. I know it sounds cliche, but as long as you're working hard, perfecting your craft, and trying to create opportunities to be seen, you're in the right space, and sooner or later it'll happen for you. You just gotta not put a deadline on it for yourself.
As far as movies go, I saw the one that you did 2 years ago that's just not circling around, and also what you have in post production. What's next on the movie tip for Mr. Robinson?
Well, right now, I'm working on some projects myself. I'm working on a show called LA Social, which is one of my own pieces. It's a 1 hour. So I'm kind of focusing on some projects that I've been writing, and because I'm looking to actually produce and get into directing, kind of expand that way. So that's what I'm really been focused on, along with my album, which is out right now. I have a new single out, so I'm on the road spot dating with the single. And so on the movie horizon, there's nothing immediately, but because I'm kind of preoccupied with these projects I'm working on right now.
Yes. Now on the music tip,
Yeah.
let us know about your album. What is it about? Inspiration?
Have y'all heard it?
No. I didn't even. No, I knew you did music because of Dreamgirls, and you said, and I was like, oh, okay, he does R&B as well. But we haven't. It hasn't reached down here to Texas yet.
What is it?
It's called Love Episodic. It's been out for a while. It's on iTunes, Spotify. The first single was Love Somebody, did well, charted well. The next single that's out right now is called Never Be You. But it's 10 songs. I wrote the whole album. I think you guys will like it. Check it out.
Good deal.
Good deal. What is your inspiration for your songs?
Just life and love and stuff that I've been through or want to go through or didn't want to go through. Just kind of like, just living and life inspires me if it's me or if it's someone around me. I'm always, in a creative mode, kind of recording it in my head when I get to the studio and I make a song.
So I have a question, sir. So you started in music, and then you expanded into acting and writing, and now you're expanding into directing. And I'm just curious, when you're making a lateral move like that, is that something that's very difficult? Is there bleed over between those industries that make something like that a little easier to do when you're getting into it from that foothold, or is it still this kind of mammoth undertaking once you make that decision?
It really depends on the size of the project and how big the transition is. And I think once you're in the field of acting and you're kind of known, you have that. It's not as hard as if you say you want to. If you've done some projects in front of the camera, you've built a body of work. For you to go and produce and direct something, it's kind of like a natural progression,
right? Because
you get used to, you're a part of the project so much that you're able to produce your own content. It's kind of a way of creating longevity and a long body of work is being able to be a content provider and not just one dimensional. Now, if it's a whole different industry, like me as an actor, trying to transition into music, which is not really a transition for me, but in the eyes of the people, it's a transition. that can be difficult because people see you in one way, just like you guys probably are just getting familiar with music, and vice versa. So that sometimes can be difficult, but it's all doable.
Well, it sounds like you have like the hustler mentality that, hey, I can do 2 or 3 things at once and keep your streams of revenue coming in.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean,
no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What's that?
No, so I'm saying, so when you're doing the writing, you're doing the singing, you're doing the acting, is there anything else that you layer on top of that?
Layer on top of it?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, it's kind of like, or when you're doing like the acting, are you doing singing in the acting?
Well, it depends on the project. Sometimes, I mean, it really depends on what the creative movement is, what that particular project is, what it entails. I mean, if I'm able to incorporate more than one, skill set to it, by all means. Sometimes I'm just acting in a piece, and I'm just an actor. Or some I've been able to put songs in the score or actually perform records where it made sense if that was a part of what the project dictated. So it really varies. But I think as an artist, it's just important to stay as versatile and as open to new ways to express yourself as possible, as long as it's good quality work.
Gotcha.
2 questions, sir, and then, actually a question and a favor. Which one you want first?
It don't matter, man.
So, if you could just look into the camera, say your name.
Now I'm gonna look right here.
Uh-huh.
Right here.
Right
here.
Right there. If you could just look into the camera, say your name, and let everybody know, and say, hey, my name is Super Dope Keith Robinson, and you're tuned in to the Benét Embry Show.
To the what show?
The Benét Embry Show.
The Benét Embry Show. What up? This is Keith Robinson, and you are officially tuned into the Benét Embry Show.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you, in your career, give me one male and one female that you would love to do a movie with in both movies and on stage.
I mean, it's a long list of people I'd like to do a movie with. Probably Will Smith.
Dig it.
And then what else? A woman or should somebody else?
Yeah, female in the movie.
Female? Probably Mel Streep.
Dig it.
Really?
You don't think Meryl's an outstanding actress?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
No, I didn't say that.
No.
It's just...
Now, if you had to do a duet.
I'll tell you a little bit, huh?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting it. I mean, you got me.
Yeah. Now, if you had to do a duet, one male, one female, who would they be?
Say that again.
If you had to do a duet with one male and one female, who would they be?
Sting and Jasmine Sullivan.
I feel you on both because Jasmine Sullivan is dope. She is.
Very dope.
She is. I think she's one of the most underrated.
Her voice
singers.
is off.
Her voice is off the chain, and
Yeah,
everything she sings is with passion. So, that being said, sir, tell folks how to get in contact with you.
Keith Sings. Everything is Keith Sings. One word. That's my IG, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. Hit me and I'll hit you back.
And you also, your album is where? It's already out on Spotify and where else, sir?
Yep. All digital outlets. It's on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you download your music. My album is there. It's called Love Episodic, like episodic television.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Love Episodics, 10 records. And the video, the new, I did I directed a 12-minute movie based on the next single called Never Be You. The name of the movie is called The Greener Grass Experiment. Mm-hmm. Because the song is about staying with who you're with as opposed to seeking greener grass. So the movie, Tony Rock is starring in it with me. We did a Coming to America scene, which is really dope.
Right on.
And it's just about a guy who's going through the motions of the struggle of a relationship. Mm-hmm. And he's thinking about leaving, and he has an epiphany while he's watching Coming to America. And he decides to stay with his girl.
Right on.
Nice.
I like that. I see you. I see you. So, okay. One last question, and I promise we're going to let you go. What's one thing your fans don't know about you that's part of your personality?
I'm a lot funnier and than I think people take me really serious. But people that know me know that I'm like always cracking jokes and I'm the funny one. I like to cook and I'm a yogi.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, sir, thank you so much for your time. You have friends here, and whenever you come to Dallas, make sure you swing by this station where you can come on anytime that you're down here in the DFW area.
So, I will. Make sure y'all cop that album, Love Episodic. The single is Never Be You. Y'all gonna like the album.
Oh, I'm going to go get it as soon as we get off the air, sir.
Word.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bye-bye.
that is actor, writer, and also R&B singer, Mr. Keith Robinson.